Live right now. And welcome
Ooh.
back, Rune, officially in triple coming backs. Umbraco HQ, umbraCoffee, and we will be talking about it later. Umbraco Poland Festival as well. How are you,
Indeed.
Rune?
I am doing very, very well. I'm happy to be back for all three things. So I'm really glad to be back at HQ. I'm really glad to be back at umbraCoffee, and I'm super excited about the Polish festival again. So representing right from last year. Yeah.
So now we are today representing two festivals. We'll be talking about events later on, but maybe let's start from you and your new role in Umbraco HQ, because we've seen a blog post written by you about your comeback, and you are in HQ with a little bit new role, right? Can you maybe briefly describe what's your main work items right now, what you've done in the first weeks of your work currently, and I will be sharing the product update which you've shared this week.
Okay, so I don't have to touch anything. I can drink my coffee, which is also
from of course. It's not a product placement. We are not sponsored by anyone, right?
Not even yourself.
I have great mug as well, and I'm losing 5 already. But go on, Rune.
Yeah. Yes, I've returned after a brief stint in the agency world. I worked for Novicell for 6 months, half a year as an IT solution architect, and it didn't quite work out for me personally the way I wanted. I mean, it's a great company. That's awesome. But I think the new role and the move to a new content, everything was a lot at all at once. So I took some time off, a couple of months, to figure out what I wanted and where I wanted to be. And I figured out that I wanted to be in Denmark permanently. And then having a discussion with my old employer, Umbraco, made sense. And we discussed it, and this role came up as the product owner. Which I'm really, really happy about. It pretty much ticks all of the boxes. If I were to write my own job description, that's exactly what it.
I remember your job description, which we've been sharing across the events. You started as an intern, right? And then you've been jumping through the different roles, and as we've been always discussing, this was all a combination of what you really want to do as a Umbraco employee and representative, right? And sorry.
As I always, or as I mentioned in the blog post, it's always the product. That's what started getting me excited about Umbraco, right? And then there's all these great things around it as well, the community and
Slave and Eagle, obviously.
Slave and Eagle, the co-workers and everything. But it is the product first and foremost for me that really excites me about this whole thing. So getting to work on the product, I've done a lot of work in the past years around the product, creating I think the first thing I did as an intern was making a code garden website for the 2014 one, I think.
Oh, nice.
And I did that for a few years. I've done like email templates, and then I did a lot of training as well for a number of years. Meetups, a ton of stuff, and a little bit of core development as well, but not very much, to be honest. So getting to work in the D team, in the development team, directly on the product and having an influence on that is incredibly exciting. And in terms of what product owner at Umbraco means, it's a completely new role for not only for me but also for Umbraco. So it's also a matter of figuring out what a product owner means right now and what we want it to mean in the future, right? So the way we've structured it is that I have 2 focus projects right now, which one is adding tracking of media references to the core. So you probably know Nexu, the package developed by Dave Wurstenberg, which tracks items in Umbraco, and that many people have been requesting this for a long time. So that's being added to the core now.
Ooh, nice.
I think that came up around Code Garden as well. request for it. So we've started the project, and that's one of the projects I'm working on. So what I've been doing on, I've been working on the RFC process, and we can talk a bit more about that later if you want to. But ensuring that we scope the project correctly, so we don't try to build everything at once, but figuring out what is an MVP for tracking media items in Umbraco. What's the minimum stuff we need to do in order to get something released, right? So we can actually test it and figure out if it works as we wanted before we start adding all the bells and whistles. So that's what the process have been with the RFC. The request for comments is figuring that out. And then over the last week or so, I've been working on maturing all of the feedback we've gathered and doing product owner stuff. So creating user stories, creating epics, lining up features. And right now, my main task is getting the project ready. So I can work together with the core team on actually defining the backlog items that we then start implementing, right?
But is it only around the core product, or you will be also involved and invited into some discussions cross teams? Because we all know that you have a lot of teams right now, right? And it's the dividing of this work and just highlighting, as you've said, the priorities or the roadmap of plans for items to be worked on is probably also the part of the role, right?
Yeah, definitely. Or it is going to be part of the role down the line. What's really important for us is to like the process of figuring out what we should prioritize for specific features when we start implementing them. That's been what do I say? That'll add great value to the whole process. So we're focusing on that first, and then when we get to grips with that, and when we're happy with the process for maturing a feature or new project, then we can start expanding the scope, right? So I'm going to do these two projects, then we go to evaluate on it, and then we'll add more projects down the line, and then we'll widen the scope as we go. So I also get more say in the prioritization on a more general level. But the other project I'm working on is on the cloud team. So it is across all teams. I'm the product owner. So it's getting the processes down first, figuring out how that fits into the team, and then going from there.
Yeah, it sounds all amazing, and definitely something what will help us as a community also understand and see more of the things going on and how it's divided across the teams.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point, because one of the things I really want to focus on is communication. So by really being rigorous in preparing these products, getting the feedback and so forth, it's much easier for us to communicate internally about the projects we're working on, both in the D team, but also to the other departments, right? We have a COMA communications who need to talk about some of the stuff we're doing. We have our suits team, which is out talking to partners, potential partners. They also want to be able to talk about these projects. So the better we know what we're doing, the better everyone else can talk about it. And that also goes for talking about it to the community. So you can see already with the RFC process, there's a lot more communication even before we start planning anything, right? We just know that we want to do something with this, and then we start engaging with the people who want to engage with us, right?
Yeah.
And then with the product update blog post, which we'll probably get to, we've started every other week communicating what have we done in the past 2 weeks in the D team. So we're trying to really be as transparent as possible about the whole process. So hopefully you can see there's a lot of value added there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've highlighted it on Twitter as well. That it's great to see what's planned in your agenda right now, what's on the top of the list, and we've been also referring at some point to the roadmap of things which are now, later, or next, right? And it's great to have a single place where we can all find your plans and your actions, and just don't tease, don't imagine what's going on, and things like that. So it's a great blog series, and just keep it coming, and I hopefully we'll all be happy. And as you've mentioned the community and your involvement in it, I think it's a good transfer point to your community involvement and recent Umbraco blog post as well about community beyond code, because you've already highlighted that it's not only about discussions, it's not only about products, but it's a lot of things going on in the community right now. We have a meetups, festivals in which we will be all involved in. Ilham shared a great post once again about community beyond code, some stats, some numbers, and we have also a new group. I didn't know about it, and I've just submitted myself there today in the morning. It's called Umbraco Organizers. So it's for all people who are already running or wants to run an event which is Umbraco focused. We can all join there and exchange some knowledge. And of course, there are some festivals coming up, which we can highlight by looking on the just simple calendar which we've built in the past. And October, September is really packed with all the events. And Rune, what are your plans for festivals this year?
Festival season. For festivals, right now my plan is to go to the Polish festival. In September. I think we just announced that yesterday. Or this morning.
Yes, and I've updated. I've done a live deploy for today in the morning.
Well done.
We've introduced the first speakers. You who are performing the keynote for us all. Purnima will be talking about Adventures with Alexa, and the first speakers announced were from Polish community as well, Polish.NET community, and those two guys are just sick. They are so amazing in microservices, distributed systems, .NET Core implementations, that I'm really curious what they will provide as a talk about Convy with a simple recipe for microservices. We will be there with umbraCoffee, and some slots are still to be announced because today we are closing call for proposal. So it's a last chance to submit some of the ideas. And other festivals, are you planning to visit any? By the end of the year?
I'm definitely going to the UK festival as well. I'll be participating. We have a gold partner event the day before, and I'm participating in that, and then of course also in the festival itself. I'm not speaking there, as it were, but I'll be participating and talking to the people.
Networking.
Networking, that's what it's called.
I will replace Callum right now, and I will just mention that Umbraco UK Festival's tickets are in a lower price till the end of Sunday. So it's a last chance to buy it with a cheaper price. Go do it. And I've checked the agendas and plans for a Swedish festival and DK festival as well, and it looks all amazing. It's so many great talks, so many great people sharing their knowledge in the various areas of the globe. Right now, I'm pretty sure that everyone can find something for interesting, and wherever you are living, wherever you are doing your work, just find the nearest or the most attractive event, Umbraco event, Umbraco festival, and attend. So many great speakers, so much knowledge being shared there. And also, speaking about events, I've noticed that one of the meetup groups were looking for someone who will share some knowledge on their event. So if there is anyone who's watching it and wants to speak on Thames Valley, if I'm Thames Valley, I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. Umbraco user group.
Thames Valley,
Thames Valley,
Valley, sorry.
Just ping them on Twitter, and of course we'll share the link here as well. That's from the community update. Some events are happening which are not so visible, but mostly a lot of people are waiting for this festival season, which is
I know there was a meetup yesterday in Aalborg in Denmark, so way up in the north of Denmark. don't know how it went, but I know Klaus, the core team lead, participated online in that one. Yeah, but I don't know how it went.
That's nice. So yeah, that's all about events now. We had some releases also this week. Probably the top one was straight from Kevin Jump, and it was about using Complete Beta 2, which is now out. I spoke with a lot of people about it already. It's a great product, which a lot of people is waiting for, because a lot of people are using for transferring definition files across environments. And right now it's getting more mature, more spreading across various sections on Umbraco, and it will allow to transfer stuff between environments. And we are all looking for more, and I'm going to be testing it probably on the beginning of the next week, because we are also setting up the new project with Umbraco V8, and this is V8 ready. I don't know, Rune, if you've seen the release notes from Kevin, maybe?
No, I haven't seen the notes. I've seen some of the videos that he's posted on it, and it looks.
I don't know why
really,
it's not loading now.
Really solid.
Yeah, solid work as always done by Kevin. So big
fine and dandy, you could say.
Yeah. Second update was by Paul Seal and his clean starter kit, which we've been highlighting in the past umbraCoffees. Some community feedback came in. Paul updated some of the items in the starter kit, and I know that some people are already using it for some of their sites, and it's as it's clean as it's cool and it's great. And just if you haven't seen it, just check it out. And I don't know, Rune, if you've seen this product. I remembered about it a couple of weeks back. It's a intra, and it's intranet built on top of Umbraco, and it hit 5,000 downloads on NuGet this week.
That's really impressive.
Impressive number, and I'm highlighting it because I was not seeing it too often. I was always, when I was searching for intranet, basically Umbraco solutions, it was always popping out. But it looks great, looks clean. It's free for use. If you haven't played with it, or you were trying to build your own intranet, maybe it's worth to check it out before doing a lot of other work.
I think if I remember correctly, I might be talking complete bollocks here, but I think it was actually it comes from a project that was kind of an in-house product for a long time, that created these kind of forums or intranets for public service in Denmark. And then it transitioned into being kind of more public facing and having a product that they were selling instead of just doing service for public service.
Nice.
So I think some of the people at least there have been doing this for a very long time, and it looks very, very solid. I tried the demo out. Really nice front end for the internet, and quite interesting management administration side created in Umbraco as well. So it looks really cool.
Yeah, those 5,000 downloads are not by accident, definitely.
No.
So congrats for this number. And we also seen some community people doing pet projects and teased us with some interesting information. Anders Björner started doing an iPublished element-based maps builder for Umbraco 8, still work in progress. And once again, another solid package creator is doing something new. It's always worth to pay attention what's coming. So Anders,
definitely from Anders. He's a clever guy.
Yeah. So Anders, share more. Let us know more about your future implementations around it. And another great community member, Jeffrey from Perplex, once again teased us about work being done around ummarketing suite. And what interests me the most is that Jeffrey is focusing on using as much vanilla Umbraco as possible, which is kind of maybe referring to T-commerce, for example, right? So solution which is based on top of Umbraco as much as possible, but doing a lot of work outside of standard, let's say, content management. And we all know that Jeffrey promised publicly that he will share more details about the product on Dutch Festival. which is coming really, really soon. And
Yep.
I don't know if you've seen, but the guys in Dutch festival started to promote talks and agenda, and it's another great festival, more ahead in time,
It
because
looks so good.
in
Good
October
lineup.
11th. It's a week after the Polish festival, but yeah, the agenda is also cool. Some really nice keynotes, some great speakers. We know some of them, and yeah. So if you are nearby, another great event to jump there and learn from people. And speaking about people, we also seen a new contributor in Umbraco, and I was so excited because I've seen some of the great answers, and Ali was also supportive when it comes to umbraCoffee, and I wanted to highlight it and say a big five for Ali for getting this contribution.
Definitely. High five, you rock to Ali. He's been really engaged over the last 3-4 months or something like that. I see him popping up everywhere on the forum, and it's really cool. So well done.
Yeah, great work. And speaking about forums, at the end of this long listing, discussion about tabs, which is still ongoing. I've seen during this week people highlighted the great package released by Sebastian. The Tabify, I can't remember the name.
Tabify, I think.
Tabify, but yeah, people are still sharing their opinions about specific UX and design for Umbraco back office, and some people were also asking for more input from editors, because we all know that for all of us the most important part of the whole usability of the system is the editor's workflow, and so if I just wanted to use it as a call for action, maybe if you are working with editors, if you are delivering the first V8 project, just ask them how they are feeling about using this, because their input is probably the most important there.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's a really good point also for everyone who's been working with Umbraco for a long time. Tabs just makes all the sense in the world.
Yes.
Right. So switching to something new can be really scary, and sometimes it can also be wrong. But that still remains to be seen. But it's a really good point that it's not only the workflow that we're used to. It's also very much about the editors who are going to be using it afterwards. So I think it's a great discussion, and I really keep track of it, because there's a lot of really good feedback in there. So please do join in and share anything, especially if it's experiences people have had with this, right? So not just looking at it and saying that it's an annoying feature. I get that, how people can feel that, but also experience, if you have actual experience with for example, content editors using it, and both good and bad feedback is really important there.
Yeah, I've compared it with the tabs versus spaces discussion, because it's same. If you are used to using tabs, right? You are hard to be changed to change your mind to just start using spaces. And as you've mentioned, it's maybe a good opportunity to someone new who was just, I don't know, starting using Umbraco from version 8 without tabs. And if they will feel, oh, maybe that's a too long list of properties or something like that, and highlight it as a fresh user, that might drive into changing of small items, or just bringing tabs back, because it's, as you've said, some different opportunities and possibilities are ahead in time, but input from the users and editors is the most important part of it.
Might also be too late to get the feedback now that Sebastian has created the package, so everyone's just going to be using tabs. But we'll see. We're definitely keeping an eye.
We need to monitor it somehow. We need to monitor it somehow. Just
that's actually interesting. I'll see if I can get Sebastian to sneak in some spy code or something, so we can get some analytics on it.
Hotjar library to record the user sessions. How they are using
I think that's fine. That's probably GDPR compliant, right?
Yeah. Hopefully. So that's the list of things which we've gathered on the list for today's episode.
I thought you said there wasn't too much going on.
It's always not too much, not still.
I think that's quite a lot, actually.
Yeah. It's another great week, but this is the end of summer, officially at least. because I'm still having my vacation ahead in time. Callum is on vacation right now. So yeah, we are all looking forward for the great time ahead. And Rune, do you want to add anything to this list?
Couple of things
did we miss something?
regarding festivals. We missed the Danish festival. The DK festival is coming up in end of September, and for anyone who's based in Denmark, that's a really great place to go to.
Yeah, I've mentioned that, speaking about agenda, so that's something what we've mentioned. But yeah, that's and it's really packed with HQ representatives because it's in Denmark, and probably a lot of HQ people will be there, Ryan, and Anthony Dank is speaking there. Really cool agenda once again. So if you're and still we have ambitious plans to migrate this website to something inside of our Umbraco. But if you are looking for any festivals, we are trying to keep it up to date with all of the events. And we are also, I don't know if it's public available or not. There's no 404 page, don't get misleaded. But we are also gathering somehow. Yeah, there is a Travolta here. We are also gathering info about 2020. So some festivals are already being planned, which is great. We'll.
Another thing I wanted to point out is in the product update blog post I did on the new releases, right? Because we released both for version 7 and version 8, released some patch versions, and there were some accessibility fixes added to the releases there. And first of all, it's just amazing to see the work that's been done by the accessibility team. They have a Trello board somewhere, I think, and you can also find the accessibility
and Slack channel
and you can also find the on the community Slack or one. And you can also find the accessibility issues on GitHub. I think there is a label for accessibility there, and it's really cool to see it. I think it takes Umbraco to a new level when we start adding these accessibility features and can actually go out and say we have this rating for the back office. So it's just completely fantastic work. And actually, I didn't even know it when I wrote the blog post, but Rachel Breeze, I mentioned her here because she contributed at least one of the issues that were included, and she also wrote a blog post for the company she works for, talking about all of the stuff they've done here. I think I sent you the link earlier.
Yes, I'm just opening this link, and I really think that this is one of probably the most major community initiatives around Umbraco, because even looking on the issues list, which the whole team highlighted at the beginning of their work, and just commitment to fixing them step by step is amazing.
Exactly.
And as you've said,
it's very organized, and it's really cool to see. And what's really nice is also that they've in the blog post they describe how they did an audit in the beginning, right, to figure out all of the places in the back office where there were accessibility problems. They've gotten a lot of those included in releases now, and then they've done a new audit to actually check up if they passed testing now.
Nice.
And there's things that have passed both for AA and A level accessibility. So it is so cool to see. And also in the blog post, I don't know if you're going to put it in the show notes, but there's information if you want to get involved in the accessibility team or the stuff they're doing there. So there's links to all of that.
Yeah, guideline for contributing. First of all, issues on GitHub, and also Slack link. I will put it all in the links, and maybe it's a good way to say
you're a pro. So
yeah, once again, a big high five for Rachel and the whole accessibility team, team, because that's
Jan Skogor.
Let me find it out. Mike Makesy, Danny Lancaster, Tiffany Prosner, Matthew Weiss, Shane, Jan, and Florian, and others, because there are so many people contributing on in this discussion. Slack, I'm not following up, but it's great to see this team so organized, and it's an inspiration for other teams as well. So we can do more, all of us, and make Umbraco better.
And it's way easier if if we organize, right? If we get together a couple of people or 3 or 4 people and start focusing on an area, you can really start moving things and help each other out. And there's a lot of encouragement in that as well. So I think it's a great story, and it's awesome for the product. Like, it's just adding so much value.
Yeah, we'll be definitely keeping an eye and highlighting all of the amazing work being done by any team around Umbraco. And Rune, thank you very much for joining me today for this great day. I don't know how's the weather in Denmark, but I'm melting here.
It's a little bit overcast now, but the last week has been totally crazy. It's been so hot here. It felt like being I don't know, somewhere in the desert or something like that. It's crazy. So it's actually it's nice now.
Yeah. Any plans for the weekend?
Well, I'm going to see football tonight.
Nice.
The local football club, OB, and together with some colleagues. For the rest of the weekend, not too many plans. I might go down and visit my parents, but other than that, take it easy. I also got a new apartment, so I'm still.
Oh yeah.
There's so much to do there still.
So we can
do some proper work there.
To follow you on Instagram to see more views from your balcony and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm not complaining.
Cool. Yeah, that's very good. Cool. Thank you once again. Thank you everyone for watching us and being here with us today. And we will all see each other next Friday. Have a great weekend, and big high five for everyone who made this week so great in Umbraco community. See you then.
See you. Thanks.
Rune. We should have an outro